Okay. Thank you all for tuning in. It's just your boy Real. And I thank you for joining. We will never be famous. And today, I just have real talk for you. You know, I know I usually dabble in a review or something like that, but today, just some real talk. Now, I was thinking about the climate of the nation, I guess, overall. Pardon me. I mean, I'm up when everybody's supposed to be, sleeping. Shout out to my baby girl. Happy birthday. I love you. I'm thinking about the climate of the country. There is, so much, and it's not new. There's so much racially charged everything. Okay, and it's not new. Not the first time that it's been like this, and people are recognizing this time, not as if racism is like new or it's making a comeback or something like that. It's more or less how these things are being publicized and how, in my opinion, how outrageous certain aspects of individuals' racism is being portrayed. But what really got me thinking is, okay, it was like a chain thought. Okay, I'm thinking about people and teaching racism, because black people, there's this whole thing, black people can't be racist because if you're disenfranchised, you can't be racist. But I'm sorry, racism by definition is like hatred towards another race or prejudice towards another race or culture of people. So anybody can be racist, that's like crazy that people say that any person for whatever reason can't be racist, but when it made me think about this, I'm belaboring the point. All of the things that people talk about, racism and like stereotyping and being treated funny and all of these things, right? I'm a Christian. I'm Christian faith, all right? I believe in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Old and New Testament, I believe in the Holy Bible, like Christian. And to be honest, most of the most racist things I have ever experienced came from black people within my own race. And the most judgment I have ever taken came from people at church. And that's just genuine. The most hardships that I have ever been faced with, like right in front of me, where it's like, we hate you because you're different from us, came from members of my own race. I've been around white people and black people. I've been majority of white people populated areas and situations and circumstances where I had to be around or in this circumstance or situation for a week or more, and never took on as much separatism and hatred as I did with my own race. Like, I would be incorporated in things. These white people didn't know me from Adam and Eve. And there was some, of course, they would treat me funny. You could tell, like they would have this, you can tell he's not white type of attitude. And like, or they didn't like the way I spoke. I was too, well, at the time, I don't know, maybe I talked in too many colloquialisms or idioms and things of that nature. But for whatever the situation, I felt certain degrees of separatism, but the aggressive and raw, you're not like me, get away from me before I fuck you up, that came from people in my own race, my kinsmen, people that I'm supposed to be more like than anybody else. And these white people, they didn't really know me from Adam. And they would, treat me a little funny here and there. Like I would get, now when I was going to high school in California, there was a group of younger, just racists. They were clearly racist white people. They dressed in, I want to say, hateful clothes, if that makes any sense. Like it was very, you could tell they didn't like race mixture, and they would come from down the mountains that were adjacent and just kind of fuck with people. Strangers, people that I don't know from Adam. Now, people that I grew up with, people that saw me, knew me my whole life, or, was in my neighborhood, we went to the same schools, our parents knew each other, they treated me like shit. Tried to jump me, chase me down, pretend to be my friend, get me around, and then like a whole bunch of people throw shit at me. All of the horrible things that you would see in movies happen to black people, what happened to me from people in my neighborhood. Now, I'm not hateful towards my race, and I don't pretend to be white, and you know what I mean? No shit like that, but it's interesting to me because the information that's being laid right now is like race against race. And it's hard for a person like me to subscribe to any of these fixtures that are coming up more and more throughout this renaissance of the American people. Because it kind of is that. Something's going to emerge from all of this. Who knows? Hopefully it's positive, but there's going to be one shining thing that stands out after it's all said and done. But it's like, I don't know. It's difficult for me to subscribe to any of these groups and any of these fixtures because it's like, man, I feel y'all. You know what I'm saying? But my personal experience does not adhere to y'all's personal experience. The people that I'm supposed to, don't get me wrong, and I'm not funny acting towards my race either. Well, let me continue with the second half before I do that whole wrap up trying to explain. And then as far as judgment, and like I said, I felt all of that the most in church, and again, this is like church that I went to my whole life. I knew all the people there. We grew up around each other. The most judgmental, backstabbing people I've probably ever been around ever. You know what I mean? And that's a problem. That's a major, major problem. Because if a man can't feel like a man around his own, where is he supposed to feel like a man? I can't feel like a black man around black people because I'm not dark enough. And I can't feel at home in the church with people I grew up with because I'm not sanctified enough. This is the wows of some of our people. The woes of some of our people, more than just me, infinitely more than just me. And like people are going through this and it's difficult. It's difficult because it's like, it's like a man with no embassy. It's like I got nowhere to go. I got no country. I'm not accepted by white people. Black people treat me like shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not accepted by white people. My people treat me like shit. You know what I mean? And then I go to church and then they treat me bad because I don't fit into what they're declaring as their mold. Now, here's the problem. The way the church has become is not the way the church is written in the Bible. I'm not going to get into, spouting verses because I haven't gotten destinations down to memory. So I would strongly suggest just doing a very cursory search. What does the Bible say about church and its structure? And there's apps. Holy YouVersion Bible is a very good one. I would suggest downloading that. Just do some research, because the institution of church is not what it is today. It's not what was written. The judging and things like that is not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to perpetuate love, to teach what is written. And that's actually it. Perpetuate love and to act and condition to what is written, not to come up with our own rules. And then as far as like being in a religion, it's difficult, that's difficult. Like race, sorry, not religion. The religion isn't difficult. That's sad. Because that's pushing a lot of people away. It's pushing a lot of people away based upon, it's like bad service at a good restaurant. The food was good the last 3 times you went. Then you went on that 4th time. You want to take somebody else. And, the service was bad. So you couldn't even get to the food. You know what I mean? You just had to leave, and that's how that is. And as far as inside the race, it happens to more than just me and like maybe my, like my sister. A lot of people, a bunch of people, being completely separated within their race for one reason or another. And that's why I just look at these problems that we're having across the board, and it's like, we're still waiting for somebody else to fix us, essentially. We're still waiting for somebody to swoop in and give us enough money or enough land or enough, I don't know, opportunity, openings to do a lot of other things. As a race, they're not going to start laughing at us until we stop laughing at us. They're not going to stop killing us until we stop killing us. Then a lot of things are not going to change until we change them internally. A lot of things have been instilled into our culture as African Americans, as black people, that is still festering. It's still cycling through our people like a disease. We have to kill off all the ailments first before we're strong enough to fight all these other wars, And that's the truth of it. Like, we cannot alienate people, period. If we're going to be superior, we can't alienate people, period. Especially people that's in our own damn race. There's all these stigmas, Too dark, too light. There's all these stigmas, and that, it's awful. And it didn't start in America. So it's something that is still affecting people to this day. So my America is different than some other people's, because my racism came from my race and my judgment came from my religion. So I don't know. I just felt like there may be others that feel this way. And it hasn't made me lose faith in either. It hasn't made me lose faith in my belief structure. It hasn't made me lose faith in my people. But I just, I know that there may be other people out here feeling the same. And I just wanted to voice that. So, Michael Jackson, you are not alone. But that's it. Real moment. Thanks y'all for stopping by. Subscribe, retweet, read, whatever. All the social media type of stuff. And I'm out.